Gambia, Angola, China Holding, GASH, producers of the finest tomato paste in the Gambia. Jaja tomato paste, available in 5 kilos, 1 kilo and in sachets. For wholesale and retail, visit our factory at Banjulunding. We are also producers of Jaja mineral water, cool, clear and fresh. GASH, Gambia, Angola, China Holding, with headquarters at Fatu Golden Plaza, Mile 7, Bertel Harding Highway. GASH Group also provides the best security company, GASH Security, for your offices, warehouses, homes and personal property. GASH Group for all your construction projects, offering you quality water reticulation for your gardens, pump irrigation, tidal irrigation projects and all types of buildings. You can contact GASH on 396-7894, 700-8993, 373-0259. Visit us at GASH Global Group on Bertel Harding Highway, Fatu Golden Plaza. Our website www.gashglobal.com. Gambia, Angola, China Holding, GASH.
TAF Africa Global is the first and biggest private estate developer in the Gambia and present in 7 other African countries. We take pride in leading innovation in all spheres of real estate sector in the Gambia and beyond. As such, we are launching the development of the first smart and modern office and retail towers in the Gambia called TAF Twins. The TAF Twins is located in the heart of the Kanifing institutional area and 10 minutes drive away from Banjul. TAF Twins is designed to have 5 floors of office spaces ranging from 50 square meters to over 1,000 square meters with 2 elevators, central air conditioning, 24 hours electricity and water supply, with the ground floor reserved for banking, supermarket, restaurant and coffee shop. For your bookings and reservations, please call now on 376-2333 or 776-2333. Thank you.
Yunus English School. For quality and affordable education, look no further. Yunus English School has what you've been looking for. Yunus English School is a leading institution in the Gambia with nursery, lower basic, upper basic and senior secondary education with magnificent teaching and learning facilities. Yunus English School has highly qualified and experienced teaching staff preparing students for university and beyond. Yunus English School is an institution with distinct academic excellence, and the school operates not only in the usual 5 days a week but 6 days a week, Mondays to Saturdays, breaking a remarkable record on credit hour coverage for all our students. Contact Yunus English School today to register your children on 77-81443 or 707-0091 or still on 9249-426. Better still, you can email yunusenglish@yahoo.com. At Yunus English School, excellence is a priority without compromise.
It's a warm reception to our studio here in Serekunda. This is Star TV News with me, Sarah Kamara. In the headlines tonight, perpetrators should not walk free, says Jan Senghor. Government unraveled Gam petroleum fuel scandal as half of depots fuel unaccounted. SIS boss briefed media about their recent tour. Papa Fall endorses President Adama Barrow. Ahmad Ba described December polls as do or die. And on the international scene, several anti-coup protesters killed in Sudan as thousands rally. Global poultry industry on high alert after bird flu outbreaks. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. Nena Jang Senghor, Executive Director of Article 19, has revealed that perpetrators should not work in public office. If not, it can create room for revenge and malice of the past. Speaking at the Organized International Commission Jurist Conference held at the Sadauda Kairaba Conference Center in Bijilo. According to her, she said they need to put victims at the heart, while all approaches of covering human rights violations are not important because they are mechanisms for accountability and not luxury.
We want to also bring the issue of victims. We've been talking about it, all of us. I do believe that for the country to heal, we are very small as a country. We all know each other. And it's very difficult sometimes, to be fair, in the Gambia, depending on who is, involved. We set the rules, but we bend them. And in Wolof, we say, generally, Dahadom, Lahadom, Dordom. In 2017, at the university, we had an inaugural discussion around the TRRC. Gay was there. And when we said that if we want the process to work, we need to be fair. We need to treat everybody equally. And what we tend to do, and we can see it even in the recycling of officials, it depends on where you are standing, who your relatives are, who your friends are. People tend to defend perpetrators, and even people who are in the struggle, people who fought for human rights, because so-and-so is your family member, is your friend, so it's okay for them to be recycled because they are good people, because that's your personal relationship with. But those people have committed things in the, so you need to also, I think these have been also a challenge we've seen in the Gambia, where people protect certain perpetrator or alleged perpetrators because they are close friends or families. And I think that is also something that we need to be, very careful with going forward. As a country, we are too small. We need to ensure that those perpetrators will not continue to walk free in the streets, because that could create revenge. That will not help the victims to heal, but also that will continue to keep us in this malaise of suspicion, but also it will continue to open the wounds of the past. I think Gambians are still traumatized. We have big unfinished business. It's only for more than 4 years. I think it will take another decade or more for all these processes to get to a closure. So we need to be strong. We need to keep together. We need also to ensure that we keep to our goalposts, because I think there's been a lot of distraction. There have been also a lot of political uncertainties, but I guess these are things that will distract us for a while. But I think the longer-term objective is that if we keep to our battle, if we keep to our principles, we will get justice for the victims. And I want also to say lastly that we need to continue to keep the victim at the heart of the process, not only for the legitimacy's sake, but also I think for the ethical, it's a moral imperative that whatever we are doing, we keep the victim, because they suffered. They lost loved ones. They know how it feels to be in this. So the technical is great, because without that, we cannot go. So we need to strike a right balance between the big picture thing and also the life of the victims, so that at least the fight will be balanced, will be, morally acceptable. And I think we need to be objective in going, forward. I just like.
For the first time since a major scandal erupted at the country's major fuel depot, the government of the Gambia has spoken out of the issue, which by its own admission has international reputational damage to the Gambia. Last week, police arrested Sehu Gassama, the managing director, and Lamin Gassama, director of operation of the company, as well as one Khadija Kebe, a staff of Gaj Global, sparking widespread speculation and rumors that top businessmen connected to the corridors of power were involved in one way or the other. Police refused to give any detail so far, but addressing a press conference on the saga yesterday was the Minister of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment.
Prompted a visit to the depot in order to review the information in their IT systems, understand better the situation. It was found that the software acquired to manage the depot operation is not being used, and rather the depot operations were maintained on Excel file. Also, management did not have a single account for each trader or OMC, but transactions were maintained in Excel sheets according to vessels that deliver the fuel stock. Transaction files were, the hard copy of the transaction files were locked in the GM office, General Manager's office. These prompted the task force to use circularization, which is to write to the OMCs and traders to request their details of transactions with the GAM Petroleum Depot. There were 3 major international oil traders, namely Trafigura, PSTV, and ADAX, whose stock were held at the depot as a bonded warehouse, and responses were received from 8 OMCs, namely Castul, Petrogas, Peat, Jar Oil, NP, AfriOil, GenPC, and GACH. The compilations of the responses received indicated that 9,643 metric tons of PMS, or otherwise called petrol, 16,543 metric tons of diesel, 3,445 metric tons of jet fuel, 17,793 metric tons of HFO belong to international traders, and 1,111 metric tons of PMS, 3,711 metric tons of diesel, and 684 metric tons of jet fuel belong to the local OMCs. After accounting for the closing stock, 9,843 metric tons of petrol, 20,246 metric tons of diesel, 17,793 metric tons of HFO belong to the traders and the local OMCs net. As can be seen, the majority of the stock belong to the international traders. 2 OMCs have negative balances. By that it is meant they took stock from the depot that does not belong to them, of 2,016 metric tons of petrol, 5,249 metric tons of diesel. These are the OMCs that responded to the circularization request. Outcome: international traders were concerned about the disappearance of their stock, and a number of them flew from Europe to meet the task force. This has big economic implications for the country, as failure to settle them will have negative economic impact. GAM Petroleum and the task force assured them that they will be paid their stock, and the conditions to fulfill this are being discussed. Following the initial assessment, it was discovered that more than half of the fuel stock that should have been at the depot could not be accounted for. This prompted an official investigation into the matter, which is ongoing. The focus of the ongoing investigation by the security forces is to determine to whom and under what conditions the missing stocks were allocated. Since this whole saga began, the task force has discovered some questionable management practices which have given rise to the need for a further review of the standard operating procedures of the depot.
Upon his return from his nationwide tour, which was meant to restructure and reform the country's intelligence service sector, the State Intelligence Service High Command on Wednesday convened a press briefing to inform the public about the outcome of their tour. Modu Gajaga attended the briefing.
As part of government's effort in reforming and restructuring the security sector, the Director General told journalists at a press briefing held at the SIS headquarters in Banjul that the tour focused on reforming the sector. He also met with stakeholders and local authorities.
This was the reality that informed our reform agenda, which was also found on certain pillars, but principally 3 pillars. The reform for what? Reforms for who? Reforms to achieve what? And in that regard, we tasked ourselves on institutional, operational reforms to start with. Because certainly, the operations of the service has a lot to do with how we do our business, but also how the public perceived us. So, to start with, from day 1, 2017 onward, we need what we will call a horizon scanning of the country, but also of the public opinions about the SIS, the newly born SIS then, and what was the public expectation.
Inauguration of structures for SIS personnel was part of the activities of the High Command of the SIS during the nationwide tour.
In 2017, and presently this is what it looks like, as you were able to realize, I'm sure, when you walked in. This was the main administrative building at that end, as it was in 2017. and this is how it looks now. Of course, this was the mosque before, 2017, and presently this is how it looks. And now we do our Juma prayers in-house. Of course, this is one of the buildings behind the main administrative building, and now this is how it looks.
The SIS Director for Reforms, Orientation and Legal Affairs, Lamin Jadama, explained, it could be recalled that the National Intelligence Agency, NIA, was unofficially changed to State Intelligence Services following the change of regime in 2017. Mamadou Gajugo, Star TV News.
Independent presidential aspirant Papa Fall, whose nomination was rejected by the Independent Electoral Commission, is the latest candidate to endorse the National People's Party. Papa Fall on Wednesday met the president in his hometown in Mankamangkunda to discuss the way forward. Fall said he agreed to support the incumbent because of the respect he has for former President Jawara's legacy as well as his contribution to the country's development. The Minister of Tourism and Culture and leader of the NRP has highlighted the importance of the December election by almost describing it a do or die for many Gambians. Modu Baji reports.
On Wednesday in Fuladu, Fulabantang, Hamad Ba said that since they began their campaign this year, he has seen what he had never witnessed anywhere in the world, and that gives him confidence that President Barrow will go home with 70% of the votes.
Min ban mi estimate ko 70% victory for Adama Barrow. Meda wate aduna he. Kono modo jorti ko njimi ko gila min immi. Adama burat 70%. Ke wana hala mele kala mido.
He furthered that this year's election is very important due to many reasons. Mr. Bass said there are people in this country who believes that they own this land. People who believe that apart from them, no one has a share in this country. He noted that those are angry and hungry people going around assaulting and insulting citizens of the Gambia. If they can do that even before being in power, how can anyone trust them to lead a nation? Ahmad Ba, he concluded by saying that he wants the people of Fuladu and Gambians at large to vote wisely as their decision might have an impact on their lives in the country. For Star TV, I am Modu El Baji.
Those were the local stories. We'll be back with the international news after the short break.
Gambia, Angola, China Holding, GASH, producers of the finest tomato paste in the Gambia. Jaja tomato paste, available in 5 kilos, 1 kilo and in sachets. For wholesale and retail, visit our factory at Banjulunding. We are also producers of Jaja mineral water, cool, clear and fresh. GASH, Gambia, Angola, China Holding, with headquarters at Fatu Golden Plaza, Mile 7, Bertel Harding Highway. GASH Group also provides the best security company, GASH Security, for your offices, warehouses, homes and personal property. GASH Group for all your construction projects, offering you quality water reticulation for your gardens, pump irrigation, tidal irrigation projects and all types of buildings. You can contact GASH on 396-7894, 700-8993, 373-0259. Visit us at GASH Global Group on Bertel Harding Highway, Fatu Golden Plaza. Our website www.gashglobal.com. Gambia, Angola, China Holding, GASH.
TAF Africa Global is the first and biggest private estate developer in the Gambia and present in 7 other African countries. We take pride in leading innovation in all spheres of real estate sector in the Gambia and beyond. As such, we are launching the development of the first smart and modern office and retail towers in the Gambia called TAF Twins. The TAF Twins is located in the heart of the Kanifing institutional area and 10 minutes drive away from Banjul. TAF Twins is designed to have 5 floors of office spaces ranging from 50 square meters to over 1,000 square meters with 2 elevators, central air conditioning, 24 hours electricity and water supply, with the ground floor reserved for banking, supermarket, restaurant and coffee shop. For your bookings and reservations, please call now on 376 2333 or 776-2333. Thank you.
Yunus English School. For quality and affordable education, look no further. Yunus English School has what you've been looking for. Yunus English School is a leading institution in the Gambia with nursery, lower basic, upper basic and senior secondary education with magnificent teaching and learning facilities. Yunus English School has highly qualified and experienced teaching staff preparing students for university and beyond. Yunus English School is an institution with distinct academic excellence, and the school operates not only in the usual 5 days a week but 6 days a week, Mondays to Saturdays, breaking a remarkable record on credit hour coverage for all our students. Contact Yunus English School today to register your children on 77814443 or 7070091 or still on 9249426. Better still, you can email yunusenglish@yahoo.com. At Yunus English School, excellence is a priority without compromise.
Welcome back after that short commercial break. If you are just joining us, this is Star TV News from our studios here in Serekunda. And now on the international scene, medics in Sudan says at least 15 people have been shot dead by security forces during another mass protest against last month's military takeover. Dozens have also been injured by live fire and tear gas, according to the Central Committee of Sudanese Doctors. Al Jazeera's Rasul Sidra reports from Khartoum, Sudan.
The demonstrations in Sudan continue. Less than a week after hundreds of thousands around the country took the streets demanding the military reverse its takeover of the government, people came out on Wednesday to reiterate that same demand.
I demand for a civilian government and the military council to be taken to court, and those who killed people to be handed justice, and those who are making our lives hard here must also be brought to justice.
The protests were organized by bodies known as resistance committees and the Forces of Freedom and Change coalition, which has been sharing power with the military. Again, protesters were met with violence, including tear gas and live ammunition by security forces to disperse them. Several have been killed and many more injured. Authorities also disrupted phone lines. The internet has been restricted since the military takeover, and those restrictions became tougher during Wednesday's demonstrations. But all that didn't deter the crowds from gathering in capital and other cities.
Protesters behind me, they are barricading the roads, firing the tires, burning the tires, and chanting against the military. They say they want an immediate restoration of a civilian government, and they say also they want the release of the political prisoners and also army to commit to the constitutional declaration it signed in 2019 with civilians.
General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, who dissolved the 2-year transitional government, has promised to appoint a government of technocrats to lead until elections in 2023. The US cut aid to Sudan after the military takeover and has urged a return to civilian government.
Sudan had been on a path toward democracy and stability. Returning to that path is the best way for Sudan to attain peace and prosperity, become a leader on the continent, and to restore very strong support from the international community.
The protesters say they will do all they can to force the military to hand power to a civilian government. And Wednesday's demonstrations show that their dispute with the military leadership is far from over. Rasul Sardar, Al Jazeera, Khartoum.
New outbreak of bird flu has been reported across Europe and Northern Asia. The disease has also caught the attention of global health officials, with 21 people in China being infected with the virus. Al Jazeera's Tony Sheng reports.
This is a chicken farm with a difference. The birds are fighting cocks, bred and raised for the ring, not the rotisserie, and they sell for up to $30,000 each across Asia and the Middle East. Bunchob shows me his prize fighter, strong wings and a long neck. But the birds need an extra barrier against infection. and are given a bath in water infused with turmeric on top of the vaccines they've already had. The latest outbreak of bird flu doesn't just threaten his livestock, but also the international market on which he relies.
I can't sell these chickens in Thailand because the fighting pits are closed, so I have to sell my birds in another country. If there's another outbreak, I may have to close down my business.
The bird flu outbreak in Europe has now forced these geese inside. Bred for their fatty livers for the luxury pâté foie gras, the farmers can't risk an outbreak from wild migrating birds outside. In Thailand's wet markets, the poultry may not be as valuable, but here, probably more than anywhere else, they know how costly bird flu can be. Back in 2004, when bird flu hit Thailand for the first time, they had to cull more than 60 million birds, devastating for decades what had been at the time the largest poultry export business in the world. In recent days, outbreaks have been detected, along with a new strain, H5N8. Culls are already underway in South Korea, Japan and China, the only effective way to stop the spread. And in China, the new strain has already jumped into the human population, infections that have left 6 people dead.
There's always a potential that one of these viruses once will adapt itself so it can jump to humans. There could be one similar as the 1918 Spanish flu that one day comes from birds and makes its way into humans.
Buddhists in Thailand release captive birds for merit or good luck. With the world still reeling from the impact of one animal-borne virus that spread into human populations, many will be praying this version of bird flu doesn't do the same. Tony Chang, Al Jazeera, Bangkok.
And before we end the news, a quick recap of our main headlines. Perpetrators should not walk free, says Jang Sengor. Government unravelled Gam petroleum fuel scandal as half of depot's fuel unaccounted. SIS boss briefed media about their recent tour. Papa Fall endorses President Adama Barrow. Ahmad Ba described December polls as do or die. And on the international scene, several anti-coup protesters killed in Sudan as thousands rally. Global poultry industry on high alert after bird flu outbreaks. That's all for this edition of the news. Do join us tomorrow for more news. Please stay tuned and enjoy the rest of our programs.